welcome to yet another episode of Buffalo Bills Pregame. So happy to be back with you in the middle of a Bills playoff race.
Yeah.
Which means top news, we were wrong.
Yeah, pretty much.
You a lot more wrong than I was.
Yes. However, if you go to my personal channel, maybe I'll put a link to it. I said we're going to be 5-11, but every single time I predict 5-11, we actually make the playoffs. So I did put that disclaimer in there.
All right, well, thanks then.
You're welcome.
So we're in the playoffs then.
94% chance, actually. I just looked it up
chance.
today, and I was shocked when I Googled it, and it said 94% chance the Bills make the playoffs.
A thing has twisted on us over the past several years at Buffalo Bills pregame, but suddenly I am the much more optimistic one out of the two of us as far as looking for the Bills' future. You have been unwilling to accept how good the Bills are. Up till 2 weeks ago, you're saying we're out of the playoffs. So what's changed so much in the past 2 weeks? Why are you now a believer?
I've always been a believer, so let's not start that. But look, the truth of the matter is you can't argue with the results. You can't argue with the results. We're 9-3, and everything is, our defense is amazing. Sean McDermott has had 2 good seasons out of 3. You can't argue with that. And Josh Allen has improved drastically without he doesn't get sacked, and his accuracy is massively improved. And those are 2 things I never saw him really doing. And he still isn't quite where I want him to be. He's getting there, though. Like, ironically, I think the Eagles game was the one where I really saw him starting to look through reads and stuff like that, even though we got destroyed that game. Like, that was the first game I really thought, hey, I think he's actually becoming a real quarterback now.
Well, since then, they've been picking up the pace and allowing Dable to speak to him in the mic until 15 seconds before they hike the ball. So they're able to see what the defense is lining up as, and I think he's getting some pointers right up to the last second. And I noticed since Dable's been up in the booth, that it's been a big difference in terms of his ability to read the plays. Or at least that's the way it's perceived.
Yeah.
The Bills look like they're having a great time, though. It would seem the team really enjoys each other's company and playing for one another and playing for this town. And I think that's going to bode well for us going forward, too, as players see what's going on in Buffalo and think, wow, there's something really special. I mean, the environment in the stadium has seemed as ruckus as it's ever been.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of those things where if you make the team, you're a part of it, and they're pretty strict about who makes the team, because I remember in the preseason, Tyree Jackson, they put together that 4th preseason win, and McDermott tried to high-five Tyree Jackson. Tyree Jackson wanted no part of it because he knew he was getting cut in the day. But no, I mean, in terms of the family atmosphere, you're absolutely right. When you're a part of it, you're a part of it essentially. So I can't argue with that.
Even if it means blown field goals, do you think Hauska's time is long? Is he one of the family?
Well, he might be the future Tyree Jackson. We'll find out, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime this year.
Yeah, he wasn't walking away from high fives from McDermott yet.
I'll keep an eye out for that.
We have coming up this week the most exciting matchup at the NFL schedule, in our very biased opinion. The whole country is talking about the Ravens right now with their success over the best teams in the league, including San Francisco more recently, and then earlier in the season against the Patriots. And here we are up against them. Do you think there's any chance that maybe the Ravens are looking past Buffalo, or at 9-3 are we drawing too much attention to be that team now?
The fact that they have this kind of tough schedule that they've been with the 49ers and the Bills and then other ones before that, or the Texans, and they've destroyed the Texans, and I think the weather of the San Francisco game was the only reason why it was really that close. I think they take every game seriously. I think they realize what the Bills just did on Thanksgiving, and I think they're going to take us seriously as well. And they also know, or at least their coach does, John Harbaugh, they lost last time they were in Buffalo 6 years ago. Flacco threw 5 interceptions. He's not going to forget that. So I think they're going to come in fairly prepared.
Well, it's a good game to look forward to nonetheless.
I think they wanted to flex it. They saw those ratings on CBS, and they're like, oh, we want to take advantage of the Bills right now and get us some of that money. And if they had the time, they would have flexed the Baltimore game. I guarantee it. They just settled for Pittsburgh. It was after
Pittsburgh's nice, though, because people from Buffalo will be able to make it, but a home game would have been really great.
And that's, real quick, I wanted the flex to be a home game, not an away game, because all we're doing is giving the Steelers fans another primetime game that they can be proud of. They'll bring their terrible towels, and we'll see what the Bills' atmosphere is down there. Oh, I wanted it to be a home Sunday night game. So bad. So bad.
All right, well, that we'll skip ahead now to a new segment we have with our successful Bills season here in the playoff race, and we're going to call this segment Enemies of the Bills.
All right, so who are the main enemies of the Bills? There are, I would say, 3 right now. The Patriots, the Steelers, and the Titans, believe it or not. Patriots only because we want to take the division. However, it's not going to happen. I have them winning out. And even if they do lose to the Bills and the Chiefs, we have to win out. Otherwise, we're looking at them losing to the Bengals or the Dolphins. It's not going to happen. The Steelers, I think they have a pretty easy schedule. That's why I have them going 3-1 and actually making the playoffs. I think they'll lose to the Ravens week 17, only because the Ravens will be trying to maintain their bye. But the Titans is where I want to really focus you guys in. The Titans play the Texans twice. I think they're going to win one of those games. I think they'll beat the Raiders because the Raiders are falling apart. I think they'll lose to the Saints. However, here comes a very fun statistic. If the Bills... You're gonna hate this, and then you're gonna love it. I think the Bills are gonna lose all the rest of their games. However, before you turn this video off, I think they're going to make the playoffs still with all those losses. It is very, very, very possible that that could happen, and the Bills will make the playoffs. All we have to basically worry about, number one, is the Titans not winning their division, which would happen if they beat the Texans twice, especially week 17. There's a scenario where it doesn't matter what the Bills do against the Jets week 17. It'll all come down to whether or not the Titans can beat the Texans to overtake the division. Because unfortunately the Bills don't have enough to overtake the Texans in the wild card, and that's where the problem will be. And I already explained the Steelers situation. So that's really what needs to happen. The number one thing in terms of other teams, Saints have to beat the Titans. The Texans have to beat the Titans at least once. After that, we'll have the tiebreaker, that all the 9-7 tiebreakers, or even the 10-6s, and we'll be in good shape.
Well, Jared, I'm telling you right now, you're wrong. Because the Bills are going to win this week, 33-3 or 33-30 in a shootout. Allen's going to have his first 300-yard passing game as he's trying to keep up, and Bills victory.
I hope so. I unfortunately, because I already gave it away. Don't hate me. 28-17. It's the best team in the league. What do you guys expect to happen? I think it's going to be...
The Bills are the best team. You're right.
We're talking about, like, number 1 seed right now. I think it's going to be a great atmosphere, but it looks like we're out of time. So
if I go any more Bills Mafia, I'm going to have to break this table. So it's a good time to call it. We are going to be back next week with another episode of Buffalo Bills Pregame. We're back!
Coming back!
We're back!
We are. I just learned that right now, to be honest. So
we'll figure it out.